live with me and Rick and everyone else, WDJO. Tune in and call into the show today. And we've got dogs. Hello.
You just came in to do some technical work. Okay?
The technical stuff? Love it.
You don't have to use that at all anymore.
And a keen eye for detail. Sean puts your needs first, customizing every step to find your perfect home. When experience, dedication, and personalized service matter most, trust the best. Give Sean Kennedy a call at 513-227-4284 or visit SeanKennedy.com. Your dream home is just a call away.
Available for pre-order on weekend nights. And of course, Le Bar à Bouffe has the finest selection of French wine you can enjoy while you dine in or relax on the Le Bar à Bouffe patio with a lovely river view. Carryout is always available. The Le Bar à Bouffe team are awaiting your arrival. So come to Le Bar à Bouffe at the Edgecliff, 2200 Victory Parkway, with convenient parking. For reservations, call 513-751-2333. Or visit lebarabouffe.com.
The following is a paid program. Its views and opinions are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
Welcome to the Did You Know Real Estate Show, a show talking about real estate and so much more with Sean Dennedy of the Dennedy Home Group at Keller Williams Advisors. To participate in the program, call 513-563-1480. And now, here is your host, Sean Dennedy.
Good morning, Cincinnati. It is 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It is Saturday, and you are tuned into the Did You Know Real Estate Show here on WDJO, where the music is. 107.9 FM, 99.5 FM, 1480 AM, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hi, Uncle Dick. I see you're watching our show this morning. Good to see you. With me in studio today, obviously we know why Uncle Dick is watching, because one of my sponsors is with me today, Mr. Rick Barrick from All Western Mortgage. Rick, how are you? Good. Are we playing some golf this week or what? I think we are too. Next week? I don't know. There's too many. We haven't. No, and I keep, every time I come on, I keep talking about golf, and I'm wondering if, my listeners are kind of thinking, like, does this guy actually work? That's the great thing about, about being a real estate agent, or, having these wonderful little devices called cell phones, because, people can reach us at a moment's notice. I mean, I get into the gym this morning and I have like 3 or 4 text messages, and I'm like, oh man, come on. It is. So, yeah, and speaking of gym, want to give a shout-out to Iron Sharpens Iron Gym up in Norwood. My personal trainer, Aaron, and his staff up there, including Alex and Jenny. My gosh, I love the fact that, I go there twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and they literally kick my backside. But, for being an old man, well, I'm not old, but 54 and still, staying in good shape. Yeah, well, I know, we're both there. Yeah, we're vintage. We're not old, we're vintage. Fine wine, right? Yeah, like Ripple. anyway, so great to be with them, and again, I always say it's semi-private lessons, or you can get private training, so you don't feel like you have to walk into the big Planet Fitness or Crunch and feel like your body shame, because I still got a dad bod, right? I don't about 40 pounds. Yeah. So, and it really shows. Although we were talking about this before we got on the air, my AI. Yeah. So, AI is like the new thing, and everybody is using it in one way or another. And I have found an AI tool that can make, I can produce my own videos, right? So I put my likeness in there. I put in a scene, I enter a scene, and it really looks lifelike. I mean, granted, it needs a few tweaks here and there. Oh, yeah, really? You think? Well, that first one was pretty bad. It was the voice. Yeah, it was, well, and it was kind of an unrealistic background, too. I mean, where would you find a kitchen like that in Cincinnati? Well, yeah, it was the street in Hyde Park one. That voice was a little better, but then I re-recorded my voice, and then I did something in front of Fountain Square, or the fountain. That one was good. That one was really good. Yeah, we're going to do one too. Yeah, so, but it's a lot less expensive than having a $1,200 a month marketing company when you've got these tools that a couple $300 a month, and you can do this. And that's the thing. I mean, you're like I am. I mean, we run a business, so we have to market ourselves. We have to constantly be getting our name out in front of people, and to be able to do something like this, AI does make things a lot easier. But there is a lot of talk, like, well, is AI going to replace realist? Huh? Yeah, it's replacing marketing. Yeah. So is AI going to replace real estate agents? Probably not. In my opinion, no, because even the younger generations, like a lot of the in deals that you and I have done, even the younger kids, they want to have somebody there, a physical person to hold their hand, because when you're going through the home buying process, it can be really frustrating. It can be really scary. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, I didn't think of that. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, but the thing, okay, so here's the thing. If you take out, and this could be for any job, AI, all it does is spit back information that's already out there, right? So when I create a video, I'm telling it what to do, and it just creates it. If I'm trying to research something and I go into Claude, I ask what I'm looking for, and it just spits out the information quickly. But the thing is, you lose that human element, right? So a lot of these deals, and you know this, you've been doing lending for what, 30 some years, 26 years. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to overage you, my friend. Well, you'll give it to me after the show, I'm sure. Anyway, so there are deals where you really have to look at not necessarily what's on paper, but what is the situation with each individual client. Right. Yeah. Right. Sure. AI can't do that. Right, because it can only do what information it currently has, or what you're telling it to find. So right now, well, I Okay. I don't envision that happening. However, the more it advances, the more it learns on its own. If it can start doing that, the Terminator. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it does do that, but we'll see. I can't. Oh well. However many. Well, and how many of these? Yeah, and how much of the? Yeah, and how many of these data centers are we talking about? I mean, they're. I mean, I know. Well, he's actually going to. Yeah. Well, Christopher Smitherman's going to be my guest at 9:15 this morning. We're actually not only going to talk about data centers. We're going to talk about some other stuff that's going on with the city. Say what now? Oh, that's the Intel factory. Huge. Oh my gosh. Really? Of its own? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. 90. I bet. I'm sure. Oh, I bet. Well, that and all, that, well, and of course, they're talking about a data center in Trenton. They're talking about doing something out maybe in Mount Orab, Brown County or Adams County. And, honestly, I'm not opposed to it. However, I think the planning should be, there needs to be better planning because, there needs to be a lot of infrastructure to be able to support one of these things. They're making the, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I hope that's the case. I mean, best laid plans, but when you get you never know because when you get government involved, you don't know what the hell you're going to get. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it, and yeah, you're right. I mean, just like, there's layers of garbage in any government system. I mean, we can talk about, well, like let's talk about, and before Christopher comes on at 9:15, let's talk about, what happened in Cincinnati last week, with all the flooding, right? This is not the first time this has happened. Yeah, there was a. Well, no. What did Mayor Asshat say? He said we're going to analyze all our systems and critical infrastructure. Dude, this is not the first time this happened. Right. Yeah. The sirens. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I mean, that does make sense. But you know what? But see, that's the thing. When you're dealing with politicians, common sense doesn't exist. You know? Yeah, he got electrocuted. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and what I don't buy at all, one bit, is when somebody says, "Oh, there was nothing we could do about it." We don't. BS. For every problem, there's a solution. So when you and I are doing a deal, if there's a problem, we find a way to fix it, right? So to have, a city manager or, the mayor who, actually he was in town, which is actually kind of shocking. He was actually here, and. To say that, we're going to analyze this, we're going to run a study, we're going to work with the Corps of Engineers, we're going to talk with our, the whoever, and, it's just, it's a bunch of garbage because there is always a solution to a problem like this. And, and of course, as my wonderful listeners what does this have to do with real estate? Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with real estate. When you have problems like this and they can't be solved or they're not solved or you're slapping a Band-Aid on it, like they're talking about what, having a $1 million relief fund set aside, that's taxpayer money, right? So because of the failures of city government, county government, the taxpayers are going to have to flip the bill for these businesses that are getting flooded. Well, duh. It's coming from taxpayers. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, exactly right. I was listening to, I don't know if I think it was Scott Sloan on WLW. I guess it was maybe Monday, and he was talking to the owner of Zips Cafe, and I love Zips I love Zips Cafe. I mean, they've got something. No, he couldn't. He's paying out of pocket, right? And he had to shut down because he was going to be losing tens of thousands of dollars in revenue until he was able to open back up because he had to rip up the floor in his bar. And, they obviously had to throw out, thousands of dollars worth of product because. Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or the premiums are going to skyrocket, right? So there's a lot of, there's just a lot of issues with this. But, I go back to, like 20, I think this happened in 2016 when we had something like this happen. And I remember I had a friend who lived in Norwood right by Rookwood Commons, and her car, I mean, the parking lot where her apartment was, I mean, the rain came up so fast. I mean, and there were several cars that were parked there. I mean, the rain came up, the water came up to like her windows on her car, and her car was completely destroyed. She couldn't do anything with it. It was done. So, yeah, same area. So, yeah. Is that the Duck Creek? Okay. I did not. Oh, it was like widen it to wide. I think it was widen it. Yeah. Well, it just still the same. And what I don't like about this whole deal is that you're putting a Band-Aid on something, and it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen again. It's just a matter of when. So instead of sitting there and trying to, give us statements and give us, what am I thinking? About, well, we're going to analyze this and we're going to fix that, and reading from the book of political ebonics like the mayor always does. When that is no surprise there. So when this kind of stuff happens, there has to come a time when there's a fix, and somebody steps up and says, "Okay, we recognize this is an issue. It's happened before. The pipes and the water lines and everything else, and the sewage lines or the drainage lines are just." It does, but who's going? No. And if your insurance rates go up, if you have these problems, if it's getting into people's houses, there was 165 calls to the 911 for the fire department for water related issues on Friday. 165. So businesses and homes, because there are residences that were affected by this as well. So if you live in a home, your basement floods, and let's say, oh well, the heck with this, I'm going to move out of there. Well, number one, who's going to buy the house? Right? They know the flooding is going to happen, and but you're losing tax revenue. home prices are going to start dropping in those areas because nobody's going to want to live there because at some point it's going to flood. Right. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about some of the most premier neighborhoods in Cincinnati: Oakley, Hyde Park, Madisonville. I mean, these are neighborhoods. Oh, absolutely.
We're going in there and knocking down.
Well,
houses.
they're building up new condos that are going at about almost $1 million a piece. So
in Madisonville,
I think the bottom line is, Mr. Mayor and City Council and MSD and Hamilton County, get your head out of your what
keister
and start fixing the problem instead of putting a Band-Aid on it. Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more on the Did You Know Real Estate Show on WDJO, where the music is. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Looking for a real estate partner who stands out? Visit SeanDennedy.com. Your dream home is just a call away.
Coming to Cincinnati, John Waite. The golden voice of rock returns to Cincinnati for one night only. Friday, October 2nd, Taft Theater. With special guest John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com and the Taft Theater box office. John Waite, live in concert, Friday, October 2nd.
Jean Robert's La Barre Bouffe at the Edgecliff in East Walnut Hills is open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner and cocktails. Savor classic French dishes including escargot, onion soup, and beef tartare. Enjoy an authentic French dining experience in a comfortable, casual atmosphere at La Barre Bouffe. Chef's famous beef Wellington is a luxurious dish, carved tableside, and available for pre-order on weekend nights. And of course, La Barre Bouffe has the finest selection of French wine you can enjoy while you dine in or relax on the La Barre Bouffe patio with a lovely river view. Carryout is always available. The La Barre Bouffe team are awaiting your arrival. So come to La Barre Bouffe at the Edgecliff, 2200 Victory Parkway, with convenient parking. For reservations, call 513-751-2333 or visit labarrabouffe.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Okay, welcome back to the Did You Know Real Estate Show here on WDJO, where the music is. 99.5, 107.9 FM, 1480 AM, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. So when we went to break, Rick and I were discussing problems that need to be fixed in the city of Cincinnati with regards to its sewer system. So hopefully those folks will take heed to some of the suggestions. And yeah. And our guest, Christopher Smitherman, will be calling in here in a little bit. Folks, and Bob, if you're out there trying to call in, the station is installing or working with a new phone program, so I apologize in advance. So those of you that are trying to call into the show, 513-563-1480. Technology is great when it works.
Yeah.
So luckily I've got enough topic and information that we'll just keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep on.
like Bill Cunningham says, we never stop, we just continue.
That's right.
So, Cunningham here. So, anyway, what I wanted to talk about was, now, I brought this up a couple weeks ago. There was a new housing law that was passed by both Senate and the House of Representatives. It was sitting on President's desk, which, he never signed it, but it did eventually become law, as our system of government works, even if as long as the president doesn't veto it, but if he never signs it, at some point it is going to become a law. So anyway, this historic housing law offers fresh grants and new business programs. All right. So this is called the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, and this law doesn't just attempt to boost supply and ease some housing restrictions. It also provides a number of new business grant and incentive programs. So the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, it's a bipartisan measure, and it became law on January 10th. And let's see, the most noteworthy measure is that it restricts large institutional investors from acquiring single-family homes, which is great.
Yeah.
Because one of the statistics that I know and I've seen is that 60% of single-family properties here in the Cincinnati area are rentals.
Yeah.
So I think limiting companies like BlackRock and
Just all the out of state, like the huge ones.
the huge ones, to keep them from coming in here, all these capital acquisition or capital investment firms from coming in here and buying up all these properties and turning them into rentals. I understand. Some people like renting because they don't want to have to deal with the maintenance. They don't have to cut grass. They don't have to do all this other stuff. But at the same time, those of us that are smart with our money understand that renting, you're basically taking $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is you're paying a month, and you're just throwing that money. You just want to just throw it in a fire.
Pay someone else's mortgage.
You might as well just put a match to it and just light it on fire. Because
if you have to rent,
if you have to,
but if you don't have to rent, just think about it. A lot of people don't remember that your house is your biggest investment, and it grows every year.
It does.
It's not a depreciating asset like a car.
No, exactly. And that, and I think that's that's one of the disparities because rent can go up, right? Because expenses for landlords go up when it comes to like property taxes. We know what's happened with property taxes over the past 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, doubled.
Yeah, gas and electric prices and all that stuff. So when those expenses go up, they got to pass that expense on to the tenants, right? But if you own a property, even though those expenses go up, the more you're paying on your mortgage, the balance comes down. You can refinance every 6 months, right?
Yeah.
You
can refinance. Every month if you really want to.
Really?
Yeah, it just depends how much equity you have.
Oh, well, I didn't Wait a minute.
Every other month.
Hang on. Okay, well, explain that then, because I was always under the impression that it's every 6 months that you can refinance.
Well, you can go. It's every 6 months because when a company refinances, say if you go through me, and we have an agreement with Fannie and Freddie, our company does that. If early payoff means it gets refinanced or whatever before 6 months, we have to pay back our service release premium. So that's why everybody says 6 months. But technically, you can go to another bank, and then I get screwed.
Right.
Technically, but when you buy a house, like an investor,
of course.
we think we need to refinance up in Dayton.
Michael, my California investor.
Yeah, and he bought it for cash.
Yeah,
I think actually took a hard money loan.
He did,
and then he put money into it and refinanced it in 4 months. Pulled all of his cash out. But technically, you just have to pull a cash out on your mortgage, you have to be entitled for 30 days.
Entitled for 30 days. Isn't that something? Okay,
Yeah.
I see. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, see, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I
You're
appreciate that.
welcome.
All right. So another noteworthy provision allows the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development to give applications in opportunity zones added weight when applying for grants compared to those not in eligible zones. So it's kind of unclear how much of an advantage such builders would get. As the legislation does not spell out a specific structure, but HUD, Housing and Urban Development, gives out nearly $5 billion in grants a year through a variety of programs. So the stakes could be high. The potential access for developers comes as old Opportunity Zone program is set to sunset at the end of 2026. So that's great. So if you are a developer, you're in an opportunity, and there's plenty of opportunity zones here locally in Cincinnati. So that's good that those grants are going to be available because, again, we definitely need, homes to be remodeled. If you look at what's happening in the West End. So anyway, so there's a lot going on. And
those grants, real quick, those grants can go on top of a rehab loan, too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so if HUD gives you, say, here's a grant for $40,000 or whatever, and you need to do a rehab loan to put $100,000 into it, you can get a grant. You can use that
really
grant
cool.
on top of that.
Okay, well, cool. Well, that's good information. All right, well, thanks, Rick. All right, well, we're going to take another quick break, and when we get back, there will be more of the Did You Know Real Estate Show here on WDJO, where the music is. We'll be right back.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of music with Leonid and Friends, the ultimate tribute to Chicago and beyond. Due to popular demand, a matinee show at 3 p.m. has been added September 27th at Megacourt Pavilion. From the legendary hits from Earth, Wind, and Fire to the soulful grooves of Stevie Wonder, this 11-piece powerhouse brings the energy, the fire, and the iconic sound of America's greatest bands live. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. Produced by Promo West Productions and Danny Salisco Presents.
Life gets busy, Birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, encouragement, and sympathy cards slip through the cracks. But staying connected with faith-filled messages shouldn't cost you a lot of time or money. ChristianCards.co makes it simple. Send unlimited Christian greeting cards by email for just $3 per month. That's less than a cup of coffee. Need a physical greeting card mailed? Only $5 per card, and ChristianCards.co will handle everything, card and postage. No more excuses, no more guilt. Just meaningful, faith-filled connection at an affordable price. Visit ChristianCards.co today to provide uplifting messages, heartfelt sentiments, and never miss another moment to share God's love. That's ChristianCards.co. Save time and money while sharing God's love.
There is a story in every piece of land. Let Bud Herbert Motors help you tell yours with a new John Deere compact tractor. John Deere One Family compact tractors have exclusive time-saving quick attach features like Auto Connect Drive over mower decks, quick park loaders, and iMatch rear hitch, all backed up by a best-in-class 6-year powertrain warranty. Don't speak tractor? That's okay. The sales professionals at Bud Herbert Motors have over 5 generations of experience. They can explain it all. Bud Herbert Motors, Cincinnati's hometown equipment dealer, online at budherbertmotors.com.
One word that I would have to describe Dr. Peck would be perfectionist. I didn't like pictures taken because I could see my smile was not very attractive. Basically, I'd gotten to the point where I was going to have dentures. And so that's when we started the long journey, despite the time, the effort, the money. I would do this over again. People at work say, your teeth really look nice. And I said, I know, don't they?
For your own beautiful new smile, call Dr. Fred Peck at 513-621-7666 or visit pecksmiles.com.
I'm Connie Birdwell, and I love my new smile.
Are you interested in antiques and collectibles? If so, there's a new place in town, the Route 27 Antique Mall in Alexandria in the Village Green Shopping Center. I'm Dangerous Dan Allen, and I've now lived in 5 historic homes over the years, and when you do that, you always are rating the antique malls for things for your home. The Route 27 Antique Mall has over 30,000 square feet of antiques all under one roof. 6927 Alexandria Pike in Alexandria, or call 859-970-2727.
WDJO.
All right, welcome back to the Did You Know Real Estate Show here on WDJO, where the music is 99.5, 107.9 FM, 1480 AM, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so when we went to break, we were talking a little bit about the new legislation
the grants.
The grants.
There's a lot of stuff going in the studio here today.
I know. The studio's a little busy today. We've got. As I say, how many employees does it take to set up a phone system here? So,
well, right now 3.
Windows issue. Okay, so hopefully you all are at least hearing us out.
I know, right?
They're all okay. So
I didn't know if you could hear me for the first 20 minutes. Though.
Well, you know what? We'll find out, because when I get the podcast back from Kevin here, one of our producers, we'll know for sure, because obviously that goes on my podcast platform and all the other social media marketing, my YouTube channel. It's a lot to keep up with, man. I'll tell you. AI, I know, right? But when we're talking about opportunity grants. One thing what other grants are is out there for for home buyers or
the main there's a couple. The main grant that there is called a Community First Grant.
Okay.
And there's a big difference. So when you talk to people about down payment assistance and everything, there's a big difference between grants and down payment assistance.
Sure, of course. Yes. You know what? Yeah, and that comes up in conversations when I'm meeting and talking to buyers, and I'm going through the buying process with them.
Yeah.
When we talk about down payment assistance, and there are two, and actually just happened with a client a couple weeks ago when I was discussing the difference between a grant and assistance. So
So the assistance is when you get a down payment assistance. That means, especially in Ohio, it's called OFA, Ohio Financial Assistance.
Yeah.
The difference is between that and a grant. Number one, the interest rate's way lower.
Oh, sure.
On the down payment assistance, because they end up putting a second lien on your house for 7 years. Okay, so say if you borrow $5,000 for down payment assistance, they put a second lien on your house, but it goes down incrementally each year until it's gone in 7 years. So that means if you sell your house or refinance your house within that period of time, you have to pay a portion of that down payment assistance back.
Ah, okay.
So now a grant is basically like, here's the money,
right?
But the big difference on that. On a down payment assistance, for example, I believe, don't quote, I think the interest rate was like 6.5.
Yeah.
6.7. On the grant, it's 7.8.
Well, and
so it's a big difference in interest rate.
Well, now with interest rates, well, of course, and that affects your monthly payment. But the other thing too is with a grant, don't you have to live in the home for a certain period of time for that grant to be
6 months?
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good information for me.
They basically give you the money.
Yeah.
And go.
So
you can refinance, you can do whatever you want within 6 months.
Okay. Well, now, but the qualifications for grants and
it's a little harder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, you're looking at higher credit score, more reserves,
and it's not as much.
Okay.
Money. Grants normally go. They used to go up to 4%. Now, depending upon a couple of them, that's only 2%. When the down payment assistance is 3%. So you get another full percent in down payment assistance. So a lot of people don't really do the grants anymore just because the interest rate's so different.
Oh, yeah.
And the qualifications are a little harder.
Well, but what about those grants that come once a year that start and like people apply for
the welcome home?
The welcome home grants, yeah.
Yeah. Those are gone within the first
30 days?
Not even. A week and a half. And for that one, I don't offer it, but I know it pretty well, but you have to have a contract.
Sure, yeah.
So
you have
it comes
to be
out
under
in
contract.
March normally, but you have to be under contract and put in right on the first when it comes out. And if you don't get approved, then you got a certain amount of time to close. So it's great. It's up to $20,000.
Yeah,
but
there's only a finite amount of there's only and I think that amount that gets set aside is probably getting less and less year over year.
It just goes so fast.
Yeah,
and if you don't have a good loan officer who knows what he's doing, you're not going to get it. Really.
Good point.
You know what I mean? And again, I don't offer it, but I know plenty of guys that do. But because it's fast.
Because it's normally just through like the major banks, like like Bank of America or Huntington
or like Fifth Third, you have to be a federally chartered bank, and the federal bank that you're chartered with has to connect to your state that you're lending in.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of, because I worked for a bank for 13 years, and it was our Federal Reserve Bank was in Tennessee.
Yeah,
and I couldn't offer it because I'm in Ohio. It's not connected to Tennessee. It's really weird.
Oh man. Well, again, it goes back to what we were talking about before: levels of bureaucracy and red tape. And
but again, it's a great if you can qualify and get in it. I've lost a couple buyers to it just because I'm very transparent. I'm like, hey, if you can get this. Here's a good loan officer I know that knows what he's doing. Go for it. But you have to be within that month. It's like very specific.
Yeah, Well,
but these other grants and down payment is year round.
Okay, well that's cool. Well, yeah, and a lot of times and that's something that I think a lot of people need to know because there are folks that think that there are barriers to get buy a home.
Yeah.
There's that thought that I need a 700 credit score or I don't have enough.
640 minimum, and we do have a couple national down payment assistance that goes down to 600.
Okay.
Yeah, but the farther you get lower on that credit, the interest rate goes way up.
Yeah, your rates are gonna go way up. Right.
And on the national programs that we offer, there's some fees too because it's a little more high risk for them. They still put a lien, but because the quote unquote credit score is always a thing.
Oh yeah.
You've got to have a credit.
You've got to work on it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that when people engage with me for the first time, one of the when I hear or they ask, well, I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. The number one thing I say to people is check your credit.
Yeah.
Right. Know where your credit is.
At least do the monitoring.
Yeah.
But don't trust that credit score.
Well, I was going to say,
credit-wise and the
Credit Karma.
No,
way
don't
off.
Trust. So typically, on a when we pull a soft pull on your credit, we're normally 15 to 20 points below Credit Karma.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can use that as a buffer. So if you have a 750 credit score on Credit Karma or credit-wise, we're normally 15 to 20 points below that.
What about like the Experian app or the
same thing?
Same thing. So that's still Okay.
Yeah, it's great for monitoring. Just to tell you that, unless so your identity's not stolen, stuff like that.
Right.
But you don't really use that as a credit score guide.
Sure.
Because us as the lending institution, when we pull your credit, we have so many more variables that go into that credit score rather than just saying like, oh, here's your credit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Sean, you deal with a couple other loan officers and anybody will say that it's normally 15 to 20 points below what that credit karma is. And they don't pick up all collections either. So we had one that the lady had a 740 credit score. She just bought a car like 2 months ago. A collection showed up last month for a medical bill and dropped it 80 points.
Ouch. Yeah. Well, that's
she can't be on the loan now.
And medical and all that medical stuff can be a real pain.
We don't care about medical collections. No lender really does.
Okay.
About medical collections, but when it first hit, it kills your credit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, well, and I do know that there is I think there's a way to get, and I think it's through the federal government, that you can get a full credit report from all three bureaus for free once a year.
Yep. At a minimum, have someone pull a soft pull on your credit.
Oh yeah.
If it's me, it's fine. You can start an application with us. We'll see where you're at. If you want to buy, it doesn't have to be right now.
Right.
It can be in the next 6 months to a year. But if you start now, you get those issues taken care of.
Sure.
So you'll be ready.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, hey, I want to buy a house tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you do send those to me like, hey, we're going to go, this guy wants to go see a house today. Remember, I'm like, okay, give me like an hour until he sends it. But it is what it is. And that's what we start off the show saying. We never really take days off.
You're right. We don't.
Vacations.
We're sitting here, working at our text messages as we go through. Even though I'm live on Facebook, if I see text messages and we're trying to reply to them, then it's like, okay, I'll give you a call after the show.
And the main thing is that you do.
Yeah.
You do get back.
But you know what? Here's what I have found is the quicker you can get back to somebody, the more they're going to trust you.
Yeah.
Because you're actually taking the time to acknowledge the fact that, hey, I see you, I understand, you're calling me, you texted me, you messaged me in some way, shape, or form, and my guy's getting back to me like that.
Yep.
That says something.
Yep.
So often, and I get this, I get people telling me all the time, it's like, oh, yeah, I was trying to work with this other agent, and he never called, he never showed me, any of the houses.
As we found out this last
or he was
week,
sending me houses that were over my price range or not where I wanted to look.
Well, and we found out this last month or so, I was like, I'm not going to get all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to get every client.
And I'm not, it's fine. But it's that chance to actually try
make an impression.
Yeah, it's try to.
Yeah.
And, again, if you don't get a deal, you get upset for a couple minutes. You're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, let's go drink a beer and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, it's fine. But you know what I mean? It's,
yeah.
If you do everything that you're supposed to do on our end and your end, and they don't go with you,
you did what you did. You did what you could.
Remember, it used to bother us. Remember when you first got into business, we were just like, what? I got back to him or her so fast and blah, blah, blah. And if you didn't go with me, I'm like, you got to move on, man.
It does. It happens. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, speaking of beer, I wanted to actually, and I want to give a shout out here. I went to a restaurant up in Wyoming for the first time this week. It's called Tella Bar and Grill. It's in Wyoming. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the atmosphere was incredible. The food, they had it's just basic, like, soup and salad.
Yeah.
But it was the best white chicken chili I think I've ever had. And the way they prepared, the way, and the it was just a wedge salad. But, I mean, again, and the service was impeccable. Amazing place. And I told them as I was leaving, I was like, this is the first time I've been here. I'm going to give you guys a shout out on my radio show because it was really a great experience.
Is it called Tella?
Tella, T-E-L-A. Well, it's got one of those little things, little slashes.
What's that
above
thing in the English language?
Tiela or Tella or whatever. I don't know. Anyway. But anyway, it's Tella Bar and Grill. It's in Wyoming, right off of Springfield Pike in downtown Wyoming. So if you are in the Wyoming area or would like a nice little place to grab a drink and a light lunch or a good dinner, go check out Tella Bar and Grill. Okay, we've got one more break to take, and when we get back, Rick and I will keep talking. We're going to go over some events this weekend and get into a little more real estate. You're listening to the Did You Know Real Estate Show on WDJO, where the music is. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Looking for a real estate partner who stands out? Meet Sean Dennedy and the Dennedy Home Group with Keller Williams Advisors, an award-winning agent with 7 years of experience and a keen eye for detail. Sean puts your needs first, customizing every step to find your perfect home. When experience, dedication, and personalized service matter most, trust the best. Give Sean Dennedy a call at 513-227-4284 or visit SeanDennedy.com. Your dream home is just a call away.
Coming to Cincinnati, Robin Trower. The legendary guitarist returns to Cincinnati for one night only. Robin Trower, live at the Andrew J. Brady Music Center on October 7th. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com and BradyMusicCenter.com. Robin Trower, the Fall 2026 Tour, live in Cincinnati.
Honey, I can't get this done. I'll have to call a plumber.
We'll make it Zinn's Plumbing. I've never heard anything but the best about them.
Why's that?
They're a long-time local family-owned firm that I know I can trust.
Zinn's Plumbing? Okay, I'll call them.
Zinn's Plumbing, can I help you?
Yes, I hope so. My wife gave me strict orders to call only you.
Well, we appreciate that. We do try to be the best plumbing firm in town, and we've been at it close to 40 years now.
Well, how do you charge? Do I get a shock when I see the bill?
With Zinn's Plumbing, you'll always know how much a job will cost before we start. We bill on a flat rate basis, not an inefficient hourly billing system.
How soon can I get service?
Usually on the same day. We work within a 2-hour time frame.
That sounds great. Zinn's Plumbing is great. Ask anyone who knows. Call them at 513-681-2501. 681-2501.
Do your brakes sound like this? That probably means your brakes need to be serviced. For only $29.95, John Nolan Auto Service will check all your brake components, but only if you mention the WDJO $29.95 brake special. John Nolan Auto Service, located in Newport, Kentucky, is only a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. Call us at 859-261-8833 for an appointment today.
Nelly, live. August 4th, the Ohio State Fair. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.com/Ohio State Fair. Nelly, welcomed by the Ohio State Fair.
WDJO. All right. Welcome back to the Did You Know Real Estate Show here on WDJO, where the music is 99.5, 107.9 FM, 1480 AM, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We have officially rounded third and heading for home. So,
Joe Nuxall.
Joe Nuxall, the old left-hander.
Right on the side of the stadium.
Yep. Joe Nuxall way. Yep. So, well, and while we're talking about Cincinnati, hey, the Reds aren't looking too bad.
Dude, don't jinx it.
I know. Well, they won last night. They beat the Cardinals, so I'm happy about that. They won their first 2 series out of the All-Star break. So let's let hope springs eternal.
1 series,
huh?
They
won both series. No, the Colorado series, and then they won the other series.
Were they in? No, they were in
Colorado and Seattle. They won both those series.
Yeah. Well,
and now,
Colorado sucks.
Yeah, but I got a couple of their guys on my fantasy team, and they're doing pretty good. So
they hit a lot of homers.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, well, you don't want to take any of their pitchers though. Anyway, but speaking of Cincinnati, so this is one of the biggest events in all of Cincinnati is taking place this weekend. It's the Cincinnati Music Festival down at Paycor Stadium, where the Bengals are, and of course, I think we're all getting excited. Actually, the Bengals, their training camp starts next week, so I might do a little video down there.
Yeah.
I
think it starts Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday.
It's this week. I know that. I don't know when.
Tuesday.
Anyway, so music festival down at Paycor Stadium. Listen to the lineups today: Mary J. Blige, Tony Songs, and SWV. I mean, those are some iconic.
I don't know who that second one is.
I don't. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
But these are iconic names. I mean, Mary J. Blige here in Cincinnati. I mean, Paycor is going to be packed. Yeah, all weekend long. So, and also Regina Bell and Shirley Murdoch make some special appearances, along with Midnight Star performing a 50th anniversary show. 50, good grief!
Yeah.
The ceremony is free and open to the public, so it's actually. But that's for that ceremony. But obviously, there are tickets to get into.
Is it It's not Usher, is it? It's who's the number one?
I think it's Mary J. Blige. Yeah.
I thought it was something bigger than
And let's see. Visitors can access augmented reality artist kiosks, an interactive beat maker, dance simulator, and hepatic music panels.
Oh, that's right up your alley, man.
What, the AI stuff?
The dance simulator. You're going to get out there.
Oh gosh, I'll do the Cabbage Patch and the the lawnmower.
No, I'll do the sprinkler.
The sprinkler.
Yeah.
Boy, we're really aging ourselves today, aren't we? But that's one event that's going on. But here's something that caught my eye. The Roaring Twenties Murder Mystery Dinner. This is actually July 25th. That's today, right? 25th?
Yes.
Today the 25th? Okay. So let's see. Join us for a night of mystery and intrigue for the Roaring Twenties Murder Mystery Dinner. Before Las Vegas, Newport was the ultimate Sin City, where the Roaring Twenties came alive. Celebrate at the town's most elusive speakeasy, where a birthday bash has turned into a thrilling mystery. Step back in time and use your sleuthing skills to crack the case before the night ends. And it's hosted by the Newport Syndicate owner, who the owner is Sharon Fortin. Now, I've done one of these before.
What's a sleuthing skills?
So it's a murder mystery.
Oh, so what's
right?
the sleuthing skill, though? I don't know. Is that like a detective skill?
Well, you'd be like Scooby-Doo.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
my God.
I know, right? Anyway. So they have a gourmet buffet, free soft drinks, and it's great entertainment. Obviously, it's 21 plus for something like this. Well, they used to do this at my friends and I did this a while ago. They had it at Sharon Woods at the golf course clubhouse up there, and it was like 3 hours long, but it was a lot of fun. You're eating dinner, and they give you clues, and you sit there with your table, and you're not with unless you're with a big group of friends, you're with people that you don't know. And you're trying to solve a mystery. It's actually pretty cool. Something you and the wife should try sometime. Anyway, so let's see. And then the Summer Beer Garden Series is beginning. So that's at the Germania Society of Cincinnati from 4 p.m. Traditional German food, German beer, and live music. So that is free admission. So that's always kind of cool. And then the West End Festival is this weekend. So music, food, and fun vibes. All over on the West End, and at the Museum Center is the Jurassic World. So a little interactive thing there with dinosaurs and learning about history and all that kind of good stuff. So lots of great events going on in Cincinnati this weekend. And if you're friends of mine on Facebook, you probably saw the little video I did right in front of Fountain Square talking about all this stuff. So I know, shut up, Rick. Yeah, it was AI. Yeah, so what? It looked good.
It did. That one did.
Well. Okay, so I hearken back to my days of when I was working on my master's degree in like 2003 and trying to figure out and try to learn Microsoft Office, and I was enamored with figuring out how to use PowerPoint. I thought PowerPoint was the coolest thing since sliced bread, so I'm sitting there putting PowerPoint presentations together for our groups and for classes and for presentations and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. But the older you get, Got to keep the mind engaged and trying to do new things. I mean, I resisted, the AI thing for a while. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can do that. I don't want to mess around with it. And then I started, doing a little bit with ChatGPT, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I get on a webinar last month from, I don't think it's somebody from Keller Williams, but it was somebody who engages or does presentations about using AI tools for real estate. So he brings up Claude, and I heard about Claude from one of my clients because he uses it for.
Is that like a ChatGPT?
It's like it's ChatGPT on steroids.
Is it?
And he was talking about integrating Claude and this other AI tool called Higgsfield, and I looked at it. I mean, it's overwhelming. I mean, it really was overwhelming at first, but I mean, the graphics and the videos on there, that you see, examples of the work is like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, but I'll never figure that out. Well, guess what? One day I just sat down and I said, you know what? I need to figure out some different marketing tools because what I had wasn't really working. Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't working. It's just I wanted to do something different. Let's put it that way. So, I sat down for an afternoon and I just got into Higgsfield and I bought my subscription to Higgsfield, my subscription to Claude. Actually, it's a lot less than a marketing company, and I talked about this at the beginning of the show. Yeah. And now I'm like, okay, you saw the first iteration, everybody saw it, and then the second one, deleted. Yeah. Second one, better. Third one, better.
Yep.
And as time moves on, and it'll just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm going to do live stuff like this, the radio show. Hi, everybody out there in Facebook land. Put it on my YouTube channel, but to complement that with the Higgsfield and doing some of those things, still, it's all marketing. So anyway, the last thing I wanted to get into here, we've got maybe a couple minutes left. So I get a lot of questions from folks about how the market is doing, and if you've been keeping an eye on for sale signs in your Cincinnati neighborhood lately, you've noticed a change. Maybe that house down the street, the one that would have been gone in 48 hours last year, is still sitting there 2 weeks later. And perhaps you're seeing more price-reduced banners popping up in your favorite real estate apps. And that's happening with my listings as well. Mm-hmm. So you aren't imagining things. As we head into the fall of this year, the Cincinnati real estate landscape is shifting. After years of a high-octane seller's market where buyers could waive inspections, which don't even get me started on that.
Not even on new construction.
Don't even get me started on that. And offer $50,000 over asking just to get a foot in the door, the scales are finally beginning to balance. But before you worry about the market is tipping into a crash, let's look at the facts. The rules of the game have simply changed. If you are planning to sell your home this fall, business as usual won't cut it anymore. You need a new playbook, right? So to understand where we're going, we have to look at the numbers. While the national housing market has seen its own set of challenges, Cincinnati is currently an outlier in several fascinating ways, right? So according to June 2026 data, active listings in Cincinnati are up a staggering 18.9%. Compare that to the national gain of just 1.9%, and you'll see why local buyers are suddenly feeling a lot less frantic. They actually have options now. So the median list price has held steady at around $355,000 when the national median slid down 2.5% to $430,000. Days on market has climbed to 37 days, which is up 15%, but still much faster than the national average of 53 days, like Florida. Florida right now, I mean, if you have a house on the market, it may sit there for a long time, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
And about 17.2% of listings saw a price reduction recently, up 1.4% from last year. New listings are up 4.7%, meaning more sellers are entering the pool alongside you. So, we have to talk about being a little more strategic, and I think that's a topic that we will bring up for our show next week, because if you are thinking of selling your home, it's not just put a sign in the yard and put a for sale sign. There's a lot more that goes to it. So we'll get into that next week. So, Bob, Christopher, if you're listening, sorry for the inconvenience this morning with the telephone system. I'm sure that will be rectified next week. And Rick, thank you again for coming in this morning.
No
Dan,
problem.
Thanks for all of your hard work and putting up with everything this morning.
Today was a little crazy.
a little crazy, but we made it through. So. And as always, my love and blessings to all my listeners. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. You've been listening to the Did You Know Real Estate Show on WDJO, where the music is, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you, everybody.
You've been listening to the Did You Know Real Estate Show with Sean Dennedy of the Dennedy Home Group at Keller Williams Advisors. When experience, dedication, and personalized service matter most, trust the best. Give Sean a call at 513-766-9200. Your dream home is just a call away.
The preceding program was a paid program. Its views and opinions expressed are not